Time to see what the Neo Geo can really do.
Time to see this game beaten at, like, a normal pace.
That too.
Yes.
So, I actually played this in an arcade. There was a community college I used to go to that had this, Samurai Shodown 5 Special, and SVC Chaos on the multi-cart cabinet.
Oh, right, this is a game where everything's heavy metal.
Oh, yeah, this is where it's like, Red Book? Oh yeah, we can do that with the Neo Geo.
Right, yeah,
Except,
they had a new
it's
technique, too.
sampling.
The slide, which was weird.
But at the same time, I don't mind its existence.
Yeah, I forget if it actually retained that.
They kept it in 6, yeah.
Ah.
And then added some other things.
This game is interesting to me because I remember this actually, like, I was into the series whenever this wasn't emulated yet. Like, it had basically just come out, and getting it running on, like, an arcade emulator was, like, really hard to do.
Also, the select screen. I like the presentation, but they just couldn't recapture the charm of the original artwork.
Yeah, at least they tried.
Also, so instead of Morton soldiers, we're fighting a new army.
Yeah, there's some weird name, like the Ptolemaic army or something weird like that.
Yeah, Ptolemaic.
Yeah.
I think the first time I ever like looked up that name, I thought it was like the Petroleum Army or something. I'm like, wait, what?
It's, so this is only a year later, after 4, but, like, it's a much better game quality-wise. Like, you know, original assets, a lot of new stuff.
Also, it bears repeating, this soundtrack is like they did this on a chipset.
Yeah? It's really good use of sampling. Although, like, for me, the Neo Geo music never surpassed what they did in Metro Melee. Like, just vocal tracks all over the place.
Yeah, the Neo Geo, it can have J-pop.
Which I understand is kind of the same thing, but just, it was a lot more striking in Metro Melee. Like, holy shit.
Also, fun fact about these soldiers, their veils actually share palette with the blood, so if you turn on the censorship, they have white veils.
I remember that, yeah. You're just headbanging over there.
Oh yeah, we get to slaughter indigenous people. Great.
Forgot about that, yeah, that's like kind of a big thing here.
Mudman, what are you doing? Why?
But yeah, they kind of went back to trying to being really creative. It's... I would say
It's creative, but still more grounded than 3.
Yeah, because there's not... They don't have any transformations anymore. Which I actually thought was a really big shame. So, it's like they added a lot of new stuff, but they also took out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, they brought back the worms.
Yeah, these, like, maggot things are just back, I guess. Although we haven't seen them in the long plays yet.
Oh right, that person was a hardcore mofo that decided to play the Japanese route. Sadly, you don't get to see the drill slug here.
The dual machine guns are so weird.
I mean, less control, but I guess twice as strong. I'd rather have, like, the 8-way shooting.
Yeah. It's sort of... It feels like whenever someone tries to make, like, a new weapon for Doom, but they don't make something, like, really creative, it's just like, oh, well, here's a different kind of machine gun. It's like, you know, Doom had it covered. And then this is... Yeah, they didn't actually introduce any new weapons in this one. They did for 6, which was strange. So, there are these... Yeah, this, like, kind of transforming slug, which is actually kind of neat.
Yeah, it's mecha anime slug.
Yeah, like, it basically has crouch walking, where, if, like, when you're crouched, it has the treads, and you just kind of roll around, but... And there's something just kind of neat about that. just remembering now, this game tries to tell a story, and
And this game was rushed out the door, so the story doesn't make any sense. Because we never really get to, like, see the story completed.
yeah.
Also, why did everyone just scream and die back there?
I think if you go left from there, you actually fight an optional boss, which is the, I think it's called Blackhound. It's like a evil metal slug.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it's like a metal slug that's like a dark blue color or something. It's got like a face painted on it. Speaking of evil metal slugs, here's an...
Welcome to... This was done on the Neo Geo.
It's pretty impressive looking, but it's just a big metal slug? I'm not really sure.
It's a big, almost 3D looking metal slug.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, the shading work and the animation.
Yeah, the game still looks impressive. Like, it's a big step up from 4 in that regard, where it actually looks like a lot of effort went into it, but...
It certainly convinces me that the Neo Geo has unlimited potential. God, the animation, when it rears up, holy shit.
Yeah? I had a version of that in Mugen.
I'm pretty sure, like, all these vehicles are just novelty characters in Mugen somehow.
Yeah, I mean...
I know Oberon made, like, the dick boss from 3.
There's also Killer Whale.
That old thing. Like, that character's old.
Yeah.
Oh, storytelling.
Yeah, like, just straight up cutscenes. And yeah, that's like the last we see of him for like several missions.
He was supposed to be the penultimate boss, but they never got around to finishing that.
Yeah, so I guess since we're not going to end up seeing it, there's like whole bosses that are like nearly finished, or at the very least have like all their sprites, and they're just in the game code, just lying there, and the actual final boss is just kind of out of nowhere.
So yeah, we have this Western-sounding song, but we're like in South America? That said, it's still a damn good track.
I love this track. I actually just love the hell out of the soundtrack in general. Like,
I do feel like this one's underappreciated.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people are probably like, no transformations, or still Neo Geo hardware, and it's like, you could fool me that this was on the same hardware as Metal Slug 1.
Yeah, right? I have trouble with that ramp there, but... And then this track, Jesus.
Welcome to SWAT Cat sounding music.
Yeah, they have like a lot of new original enemies. And there's also this like kind of running theme where they're like trying to make their own metal slugs.
They're trying to be as close to Nazca as they can. Like, there's still some differences, but these still are really good sprites in the end.
That's sort of like the actual story is like you keep constantly running into like fake metal slugs that the enemies have.
I mean, they're trying to not be like the Morden army. They're trying to put actual work into their artillery. They're still at the hiring hobos to pose as prisoners of war phase, though.
There is something about this game that, like, everything new they added doesn't have a lot of personality to it. Or at the very least, it doesn't have the same personality that the old stuff has.
Well, most of them are, like, just killer robots.
Yeah, and it's really neat looking. Like, this is a really cool looking section. But it doesn't really fit with, like, you know, the goofy prisoners of war. And,
yeah.
Like, just very silly looking protagonists.
Like, yeah, the soldiers are a lot more serious than Morden's.
Yeah.
Especially the ones in the hunk suits, which are like... That's in Metal Slug.
Yeah, there's just like these like wetsuit guys. Yeah, that's the thing about this game is it doesn't have the transformations are not only like they were like fun, but it had its, you know, it's like that style that Metal Slug has always had, and this game just kind of lacks that. Like it has its own style, and it's actually pretty good. It's just it kind of clashes in places.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Into
these
the
things.
Radical Squadron. Okay, that guy really fucking died.
All right, well we killed him. Time to go back.
I mean, I guess the veil sort of adds a cool anatomy to them, but at the same time, it hides their expressions.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of the base enemies don't. You can't see their faces, so
Yeah, like everyone's in a veil or in a mask.
yeah.
We have the natives, we have the hunk suits. Yeah, just everyone conceals their faces. It's alright, I recovered from having a vehicle fall on me.
I'm trying to decide if this background's taken from Metal Slug 2 or not. It kind of looks like the train station area.
There's a mixture of 2 and 3, like, inspirations to this asset.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have to have some sort of reference to not clash horribly with the Nazca art.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, it still does clash, but not as badly as it could. It's not the clown face from that one boss in Metal Slug 4.
Big John. I don't remember its name for some reason. It's one of those things that just stuck with me.
Probably because its name is Big John.
You just look at that thing and you're just like, yeah, that's Big John.
Yeah, that was part of Robin Hood's Merry Men. Giant clown robot that turned the sheriff into a zombie.
I have to admit, at some point I actually played Metal Slug Attack. I think I actually had Big John as one of my units. I'm just like, just because I could, I'm like, alright. This is very shmup-like, this attack pattern.
Yeah. There's like a number of shmups I can think of that this reminds me of. Also, we have that burner thing that the boss from Vanilla 2 has.
Yeah?
Except this boss is actually a threat.
Yeah, it's like this game, it has a little bit of derivative stuff, but it feels like unique enough that it doesn't... It's not 4. Like, after 4, anything feels fucking original.
Like, yeah, 4 was just like a ROM hack
Yeah.
or a fan game, and this is actually a sequel. It's a sequel by different developers, like you can tell, but it's still something I put in the franchise timeline. Meanwhile, 4 is like, I'd consider it as much of a main game as I'd consider Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
I don't know if 4 was ever not fun, though. Like, it's just not like, the best Metal Slug sequel, but it's still Metal Slug at the end of the day.
It's Metal Slug is Alive, damn it, the game.
Yeah.
I'm glad we rescued Philosocrates.
Just the random tunes they made into, like, heavy metal versions. Oh god, those civilians, though.
I just like that the female civilians have a rack that just takes up their entire chest. Like, you can't tell if it's a belly or if it's their rack.
I think those are based on unused sprites from, like, 2 or something.
I like that guy's strut. These, yeah, it's these haunts. They're just so. They don't work with this.
No? These kind of have like a fan character vibe where it's like not bad, it just misses the point, you know?
It's like somebody just decided to make a Resident Evil character in Metal Slug style.
Actually, it kind of reminds me of like when we do Link to the Past randomizer. It's like, oh, select your skin. It's like someone made a skin for the Morden army. It's like, here, he's the pyro now.
Somebody has had to have made a side-scrolling Resident Evil fan game where you play as one of the hunks and kill the zombies.
Hell, I'm sure they've just made one where like everybody's edited from Metal Slug sprites.
That would be one hell of an official crossover. As Chris, you can punch boulders.
That's what SVC should have been.
Yeah.
We need a modern SVC. Like, they gotta do it right. Alright, this thing has a melee attack, too. Forgot about that.
I feel like, though, SNK nowadays is more concerned with crossing Terry himself over into everything than crossing over with for an entire game.
Kind of feels like SNK will just give over, like, their characters to anybody, and most people are like, well, Terry's popular, so... Or Mai, depending on who you're asking.
I think it's like, for the longest time they tried to push Kyo as the face, but they're like, yeah, people like Terry better.
Yeah.
Not that I disagree, because I do like Terry better as a character myself.
If I remember correctly, I don't think there actually are Metal Slugs in this game. Like, not ones you control. I think this is it.
Yeah, I don't remember, because I played through this game, like, twice in my life, because that's kind of the problem with 3, it spoils me so much.
Yeah. I played this one more than I care to admit, but, it never beats 3. But yeah, like, they put so much stuff into this one slug that it kind of just makes the whole thing. It's got, you know, the machine gun, the bazooka, the treads, the double jump, the melee attack.
I guess this is modern anime at its time, the Metal Slug game.
Although I'm remembering
because
there are a couple more slugs, but...
Because this slug is like anime as shit.
Yeah. It's like really good fan work. Like, it doesn't look bad at all, but it definitely does look like something that a different company made.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you could convince me that this is like Metal Slug Mania.
Yeah, right? Is that blood coming out of that robot, or is that just their explosive effect?
I think that was just cinders, yeah. Okay, speaking of things that are anime as hell, this boss.
Yeah?
Dodging tiger shots, except now there's a mid-tiger shot.
Oh god. Okay.
That was a boss citation needed. What's the difficulty? They don't even display the difficulty, god damn it. I'm gonna assume it's level 1 because of that.
Yeah.
It's better than being on hard 8 and killing everything possible.
I should, for the record, for the video, I should point out that the reason we're not doing the other guy's video again is because it's actually twice as long as this one. It's fucking an hour and a half long. It's like, no. Stop.
And we know why it's that way.
Yeah.
The way the person was like vibrating in the parked vehicle, it just made it look more like he had problems.
It's like, oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh, okay. I thought for a second we were about to be like, no thanks. I guess
These people just really believe in the drop shot.
to their credit, they never put it in like the worst places or anything. Like it's usually got some reason to be there. It's just it's a weird weapon.
I wouldn't trade a heavy machine gun for it.
Yeah. Oh hey. Well there he is.
Those people are being Hadoukened, by the way. I can't wait until he starts Hadoukening the friggin' hunk suit people.
I just picked up on the fact that like he has that stance where he looks super intense, but then he's walking, he's just kind of like skipping around.
One walk cycle. That's all we have the budget to animate.
Did they screw up the palette on his fireball?
Let me see.
It's a different...
It turns gray when it's in his hand.
Yeah, it's like a different palette on his spray.
Was it always that way?
I don't think so. Could be wrong though.
Great, the next Metal Slug game we look at, I have to like see if that's still the same. Yeah, even this has to be different because the shot is great, and yeah, seeing him Hadouken hunk suit people is just weird. I play Smash, so I've seen weirder matchups, but this is still a weird matchup. Oh shit, there's only one sub.
The water there was weird, like the foreground water was animated differently than the background water. It's like different quality.
I am pretty sure this is on that Underwater album by Death Clock.
This track's intro is it always stood out to me.
Verbager, 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 verbager.
I forgot they have like much more unique underwater enemies here. At least in terms of the soldier guys having like all these animations. Oh yeah, and then there's giant squids.
Why is it that when they're untied, it's when they start turning blue?
Oh, the ropes are providing oxygen. Okay, I forgot these jellyfish actually were in the game. They're like edited from the jellyfish that the eels eat in the first version of Metal Slug 3.
And apparently they have the ability to do mitosis.
Yeah. Also, if you look closely, that squid enemy, when it dies, its eyeball, like, juts out.
Metal Slug just loves eyeball torture.
It does, yeah.
That's why Morden wears an eye patch. He's in this universe.
Oh yeah, this is a weird thing. It's a wall of enemies, but when you shoot them, they just stop. So you have to, like, make a path.
Well, that's a really rude place to put the mines. It also implies that this army has a sense of humor.
They have unique death sounds in the water, I don't remember that.
I mean, given the people who made this, they do take sound design seriously.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Okay, this, like, transparent tunnel effect is not as impressive as it would have been in earlier Slug games.
Yeah.
If Nazca were doing this, the sprites would have, like, a unique palette.
This guy.
But here it's just, like, different lines.
Yeah, I think they got one-upped by Down the Tubes from Earthworm Jim.
Imagine if you could play as Earthworm Jim in a Metal Slug game.
I'm sure that sprite exists on Spider's Resource. Actually, come to think of it, I know people do that, like, make their own Metal Slug characters, but I just have to feel sorry for them given how many fucking frames that must take.
Yeah. I mean, making a single sprite isn't that bad, but imagine them doing a full set.
Yeah, also, this is a room.
Oh, God. I think we interrupted one hell of a party.
Oh, I forgot you fight that guy, and... Okay, bye.
Yeah, I mean, you do fight him, but fight is sort of a subjective term.
He just kind of bounced around like, hey, come get me! And then he just disintegrated.
Unfortunately for you, I already rescued like 5 POWs. And one of them had the laser gun.
Right, yeah, I remember that. This transition just from like an underwater base to just the desert.
How is this a desert?
Well,
There's plenty of water beneath you.
and then, yeah. You fight a submarine in the desert?
This could have very easily just been on the surface of the water. I guess variety?
This might be one of those unfinished things.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of things that just make no sense because the context was never completed.
Yeah. Watermelon?
General Watermelon.
Alright.
Also, we rescued Chong. With that beard, I can believe it.
We rescued Sergeant Ninja.
Private The Simpsons.
And here's that car. Oh right, I made this a racer in Sonic Robo Blast.
Alright, time to... Terminator, Time Splitters. There's just so many apocalyptic futures this reminds me of.
Oh god, yeah. Oh god.
Time Gal.
I hate when
Also,
they do this thing where you jump between like slanted platforms so you're like not really sure where they end or begin.
This is so PlayStation Mega Man X game music.
Oh god, it is, yeah.
In fact, this level looks like something out of Mega Man X.
It does. I see this song go around a lot. I think it's like the most popular one from this game.
Certainly sounds the most anime.
Yeah.
My favorite track is still level 2 from this game. My god, it really does sound like something that would play in like X4.
It does. And then
it wasn't Repliforce that dropped the space colony, it was Marco.
Oh yeah, then here's an area that... Yeah, it just exists as a transition. If I remember correctly, I think there's a lot more, like, area that isn't used in that, one screen. But, again, unfinished game.
Yeah, come to think of it, they introduced a slide here, which I don't mind, but, like, the only real workout you get with the slide is with the descending ceiling in the first level.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Also, yeah, these guys have that quick get-up animation I mentioned, like, back in Metal Slug 3.
Yeah, also their faces are concealed because that's this game's style, apparently.
Yeah?
Also, imagine animating that thing with sprites.
Yeah, right? It's still got some of the old spirit. Like, this thing is definitely in there, but...
This is something Nazca would do to be like, look what we can animate.
Yeah.
I do wonder, like, whatever became of the people that work for Nazca.
Who knows? I mean, given all the pseudonyms, we might actually not know.
Yeah!
Oh yeah, the harpoon. there's not a bomb on this thing. It just, I don't know if we're gonna see it. It just shoots out a big fucking harpoon.
It's creative.
Yeah. I forgot the wild, like, sax solo in this song. Yeah, it's very anime.
I like that they just turn into regular Morden soldiers when they're charred.
Oh, yeah.
Again, rushed development.
If I remember correctly, that unused sprite site pointed out that every enemy in the game has a unique burning animation. They just don't use them?
You know, the more I think about it, those mass cultist people just make me think of the raincoat people from Dead Rising 1.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, I guess what happens if they capture Frank would be up Nazca's alley.
Oh, God.
I get to fight in my underwear. Cool.
Was that the guy from earlier? Like, the character who initially found the mask? Because he keeps changing palettes.
I don't think that is. I think that's just somebody wearing mass-produced versions of those masks.
It doesn't help that they made the quote-unquote main antagonists the same outfit as, you know, a bunch of other random people.
Yeah, he was just one of those indigenous people, and now he could be any of these masked people. I mean, I guess he was supposed to be the main antagonist, but they kind of forgot to get to that.
It was a mess.
It just... Like, people are normally better about incomplete games making sense, but not this one. This one is just, let's make them have a fever dream.
Yeah?
That... Okay, because their blood shares palettes with their hoods, they bleed green when you kill them.
It's chameleon.
That or they're D2 monsters. Oh, now they're red. But when you knife them, they bleed green.
Yeah, it's like a weird tearing animation, I don't know.
They also, these ones turn purple as well, so somebody set the Silent Hill blood color to purple. I like the notion that these are actually D2 monsters. The mask was part of Shadow the Final Destroyer. You could have just, whatever.
A little bit of that other guy kind of bleeding in here. This background's definitely from the Jupiter King fight, but oh well.
I mean, deadline fast approaching. They squandered God knows how much time into making this.
Yeah.
Okay, when I was playing this in the arcade with somebody, they thought these elephant robots were supposed to be dick and balls, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't think I actually noticed they were elephants until just now. I didn't really know what they were, but I'm like, oh, yeah, that's very obvious.
Yeah, the tusks and the ears and the trunk.
Yeah.
Also, the notion of just animating these trunks.
Yeah, right?
We went to the same animation school as the Nazca people.
We're on a deadline, but we're not afraid to make some really ambitious shit like this.
Probably why the deadline caught up with them.
Yeah, so there was definitely supposed to be some more boss fights here. But...
So, that bearded guy from the beginning, you would have fought him right up here.
Yeah,
And then, after you beat him, this would come.
But no, this just kind of happens without any context.
What you're about to see is on 1991 hardware.
Oh, yeah. Although those fireballs aren't much to look at.
I mean, I guess they gotta save some pixels. This reminds me of the effects when Kai does the instant kill on you in Guilty Gear 1. This move is so cool, but so trivial to dodge.
Yeah. And that's its 2 attacks. That's all it's got.
Yeah, this was clearly just, like, meant as a final form. Like, after 2 more forms. Like, this was meant to be, like, a breather finale.
Yeah.
Like, you were supposed to do so much more before this.
Yeah, because there's, like, this big turtle boss thing that didn't get finished, and a fight with the bearded guy, which, by the way, this is the final boss. You don't see that bearded guy again. Like, he gets set up, and then that goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Other than that he's got followers, apparently.
He shaved and suddenly became Caucasian and made the Raincoat Cult in Dead Rising 1. He also got a lot faster.
But, this game at least gave us, the heavy metal version, the final attack, which is awesome.
I agree.
This is my favorite song from Metal Slugs 1 through 6.
Like the size of the sprite on a Neo Geo.
Yeah. Just a background.
Yeah, you're just fighting a stage. And then the just really fluidly animated scythe attack. Also, fun fact, the wings are cut off at the top and you can actually, if you look closely, see it. I think the boss was supposed to be a little higher.
Oops. It's a really cool effect, though, just like the lightning flash and you see the silhouette.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a really cool effect for a boss that just is just fucking there. You're like, yeah... And really, let's, like, kind of look back on the series. Like, I know there's been supernatural shit, but you're just fighting a demon?
What's interesting to note is, notice that the idol is the chill animation. Because it's to convey that this thing is actually kind of scary.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and it's not that the wings are cut off at the top, my bad. It's that the wings desync with the sprite.
Oh. And then that's Metal Slug 5. It felt like it was over before it really began.
They just had to get this out before all support stopped for the Neo Geo.
Yeah, this is the last Metal Slug game on the Neo Geo. Although not the last Metal Slug game. Not by a long shot.
By winning, we've undone the apocalypse. Kinda.
I mean,
also, the look on his face as he's driving.
Yep.
Yeehaw! I guess that's where the music direction came from.
Undo! Just undo this game. No.
I would be kind of worried if the main programmer for my game was named Undo.
I think he's undoing the mess of Metal Slug 4.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Ick and Workram are gonna molest me anymore.
Damn it! These are pseudonyms, right? Like, these are just... Okay, yeah.
I assume so. I don't want to go through life being named AKR plus AMK.
I can't believe Toad worked in this game. After he got done working on it, he went, "I'm the best."
With that weird Marge Simpson sounding voice.
Sound produced.
It indeed was produced.
All SNK Flameware staff and all Metal Slug staff again.
We're the Metal Slug staff now.
Man, Marco's shit at driving.
Marco sucks dick at driving.
He's all over the road.
I mean, when there's no other traffic or police to pull you over.
He was moving like a screensaver element, just kind of bouncing around the walls.
All right, this is going to be my new screensaver.